The Buschy and Bobo Show, a healthy scratch podcast. Here's your hosts, Kyle Busch and Brian Rager.
And welcome back to the Buschy and Bobo Show, episode 46 on the Healthy Scratch.
Welcome, brother.
Bobo, I don't know what that is. I'm going to be straight up. I've seen
From
so much stuff about that.
Sketch.
Who's that?
Twitch or TikToker.
I've seen him in a few things where I'm like, all right, this guy's weird looking. But I've
Yeah,
seen
he
a lot
is
of people do
very
that. Like,
weird
what up,
looking.
brother? And I'm like, this is like the
What's up, brother?
stupidest thing ever. Is that something
Tuesday,
he just does?
Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh, my God. I don't know about that. Anywho, the regular season's over in the NHL, and we're now in the playoffs. And we had a lot of stuff to hit on, and some fun stuff, maybe some serious stuff. I don't know if you've seen any of my Red Wings Report videos lately, but you know what happened. My heart got ripped out.
Yep.
I don't know. How do you feel about, like, if that was your team? Because the Canucks are playing tonight.
Yeah, we'll play
in
at
the
10
playoffs.
o'clock, an hour and a half.
The circumstance that the Red Wings got knocked out was something that I was joking about at work that day, and it actually happened. I was like, oh, fucking course it did, because why wouldn't it, right? I don't know. Like, it's something that I look at and go, okay, it's happening because it's my team, but it makes you really think about, like, off the top of your head, do you know how many wins the Islanders, the Capitals, and the Red Wings have in comparison to each other?
I know the Red Wings had more regulation wins, right?
No, they just had more
Or
wins.
more wins
Straight
in
up.
general. Oh,
Right. But apparently now the tiebreaker is regulation wins. It used to be regulation overtime wins, right? It was the ROW. Now it's just regulation is the one tiebreaker. So they didn't get the tiebreaker, I guess. So it was really weird. I don't understand why, like, at this point, why do you get penalized? No, not even penalized. You get rewarded for losing in overtime, but you get penalized for winning in overtime because it's not a part of the tiebreaker. Like, does that make any sense to you at all?
there's one thing, like, sort of to eliminate something like that. I would say instead of going to the 2-point system, have it be a 3-point system for in hockey. Regulation win, you get 3 points. Overtime win, if it goes to overtime, loser gets 1 point, winner gets 2.
I think it would solve that, just because then, you're getting rewarded, right? You're not
Yeah.
getting as much for getting to overtime. You're still getting the two, but regulation win, which is what they're doing now, I mean, then okay, it's just the points, right? But
Yeah.
also, like, I kind of wondered, why not head to head? Like, why wouldn't that be the first? Like, a lot of these teams only play like 3 games maybe against each other. Like, they're in the same conference, they're playing each other probably 3 or 4 times. Why not just use that as the first tiebreaker, head to head, right?
I think a head to head might be a little bit harder though with like in a 3-team race there. Like,
Okay, but then you would go to the next thing. So it's like prioritizing which one is more important, because I really don't know. Because
yeah, it's what is important, what
at the end of the day, like, my Red Wings, they put themselves in that position. Like,
yeah.
they definitely could have won games throughout the year. But then on the flip side, and this is something in the, like, postseason press conferences with Derek Lalonde, the head coach of the Wings, and then Steve Yzerman, GM, they both kind of said, well, Lalonde mostly said, we won games that sometimes maybe we shouldn't have. Like, the last two against Montreal had no business winning those, and they pulled a rabbit out of their ass. But then
Huh.
there were some where it's like we got smashed by the Coyotes.
Twice,
So it's,
yeah.
yeah, it's almost like teams regress to their means, right? And that's what happened. Like, that's just who they are, a wild card kind of team. I did take solace in the fact that, like, Washington got caved in today already by the Rangers. So uh, my prediction, we'll do our playoff predictions at the end of the pod, but
Yeah, yeah.
Rangers in 3 for sure. So
Rangers in 3, eh?
that's how I would say it. I don't think the Capitals have a chance. I don't understand. They, like, are an absolutely flawed team,
Don't
and
you mean 4?
they're just not good. Yeah, no, they're gonna concede game 4.
Oh,
No,
fair
that's how
enough.
bad they are.
That's
Rangers
how
and
bad.
Rangers in 3. You didn't get the that was the joke.
That's there's an airplane in here. Went right
Oh
over
man.
my head.
And something like just reflecting on the regular season, one of the wildest things was Zach Hyman talking over 50
150.
goals. He had like 52 goals or something like that. Like, is that shocking or like
I'd say so. But when you're playing with the guys like McDavid and Drysidle and whatnot, good things are gonna good things are gonna come your way.
at the same time though, there have been other players that have played with those guys and haven't touched 50. Like the shot chart, have you seen Hyman's shot chart where it's just like all in the crease? There's like he scored like 44 of his goals just like right by the net. So
It's
there's all these yeah,
banging
all
in
these
those rebounds.
TikToks and stuff of him like people pretending he's him practicing where he's just like standing there and the puck just hits it and he goes and he's like, yeah, it's so funny. But the the other thing too is just in general, like I wrote that down when Hyman hit 50
Yeah.
and like good for him. Like old Michigan Wolverine there, good Canadian boy, and the Leafs let him go.
Yeah.
Which is that's just what they do. But the point totals this year, bananas.
Yeah. It just is it gonna be something that we continue to see to grow with this talent coming in with the way the game's being played now and
You're right
it's
that it is different. Do
oh
you remember?
absolutely.
Was it what was the year? It was like 20. I want to say 2016 or something like that. Jamie Benn won the Art Ross Trophy with 87 points.
Yeah.
He would have been like 30th in the league this year at 87. But that's just the way the
That's still
game has
over a point
changed.
a game too.
If
Like
you go watch highlights of games back in the late 2000s, early, even mid, 2010s, it's not the same. This is 10 years past that, which makes
yeah.
us feel old. But like the game has changed so much, which is so offensive. Like if you're not scoring 3 or 4, like you're not that good.
Yeah.
Even the goalie stats, the goals against averages are up, save percentage is down. It's tough, man. So the game has changed where like you were talking the skill that these guys have. Like just watching, have you seen the score like currently the Avalanche and Jets?
I saw it was
It
like
was
3-2, like
3-3 in the first period.
yeah, I saw it
Like
was
just
3-2.
insane. I mean, very entertaining.
Yeah, oh,
But
absolutely. It's that offensive game. It's something that yeah, like I said, it's entertaining.
well, even like McDavid getting 100 assists and Kucherov getting 2 players got 100 assists this year.
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy. Like the last time I think that happened wasn't it like 1991 or something like that? You were 2 years old. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like that's how impressive this season has been. And I mean, Matthews almost getting 70.
Yeah, that's
Funny that he's
impressive.
ended at 69 there,
Oh,
but
it's a better number to
a
end on.
great number. But like that's just the way the game is going right now. The NHL is an offensive league, and you better adapt because even like a guy like Sam Reinhart, 57. I just dropped the controller here real quick. 57. Like it's a lot of goals for a guy. Like imagine being the Buffalo Sabres and just fumbling having Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart at the same time.
Yeah, and just seeing what it is,
You blew it.
what these guys were capable of. It's yeah,
Well, it
you blew it.
it 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 is kind of incredible when you look at some of these players that you know someone gives up on. Look, even JT Miller had what 120 something 30 points. He had an insane season too.
Yeah, he won the Canucks MVP for
Hmm.
like their team awards, and even look at defensemen. Like look at Hughes there with 92, I think 90 plus points, and
Hmm. He's a
uh,
defenseman.
yeah, and that's a yeah as a defenseman.
Hmm. Um, so that was kind of the regular season. I don't know if there's anything else that you really want to chat about. I think the Canucks kind of they started hot and they did regress a little bit.
Yep,
We'll talk about their playoff matchup. Kind of bring me
Nashville
through what you
later on.
think. Yeah, we'll
Yep.
talk about that. Um, and we'll do our predictions because why not, right?
Oh, why not?
But the big news since the last time we did a podcast, other than that stuff, was the Coyotes are finally moving.
Thank Jeebus. It's about
Oh
time. And
man,
it's where you thought. It's where you said you thought they should
did I
land.
say that in the last pod?
I don't know if you said it in the lost pod or if it was just you and I just talking or whatnot, But you were saying, because I was like, oh, Houston could be a good location, and you're like, no, like Salt Lake City could be.
Well, to be fair, to be
To
fair,
be fair,
to be fair, I kind of already saw that Ryan Smith, owner of the Jazz, was kind of talking with them. So I
ah,
kind of went, well, I kind of read the tea leaves a little bit and went, well, it's probably realistic, right? That's the way they're gonna go.
yeah,
But
yeah.
interesting market, I would say. First of all, I mean, just talking about like they're gonna be called Utah something. I saw a rumor that there's not going to be a nickname the first season, which is
I saw that
stupid.
too. The Utah
Don't do
Hockey
that.
Club.
Like
No,
just fucking make a name. Like it's not that hard, man. We can come up with one right now. Okay. Utah hockey team.
Utah
Go ahead.
Yeti,
Damn, I was gonna go with that one. That's pretty good. Uh, fucking Utah Blizzard. I don't know.
Storm,
Just
the
just
Storm and Mormons.
something. You know, the Utah reincarnated Coyotes. I don't. Whatever you want to do, right? And then you just go. You go on Fiverr and you get someone to make you a logo really quickly with a couple of revisions. You think you know what we're talking about? A little throwback to episode one
Episode 1. Yep.
with the
Oh
healthy
my
scratch
god.
logo you see on the top here. Boom, here it is. Right, that was not how it came out the first few times.
No, it was just a word
Um,
mark with like a
and I wish I
cricket
remember
thing.
who did that logo that we have. This one, like did a phenomenal job like immediately. But we had a artist originally that just like clip art
It
was
was
better. Like we could have done
yeah.
better on MS Paint. It was unbelievable. So, but again, getting a logo made isn't really that hard. I know they've trademarked a bunch of names, and I think the Yeti was one of them. That'd probably be my.
It
It
just
just goes. I
just
don't know.
the Utah Yotes.
Yeah. Um. So like just looking at it from the Arizona side, I don't know how like into all the details you were because I certainly wasn't that like deep into it. But generally, what I understand is this owner is a clown show. Have you seen his interviews?
Yeah, like I haven't seen his interviews, but I from what I've read and what I've heard, it's like everyone is like I
Like
see the well, thank you for always being not you, and it's the owner like our hockey team, and it
they
just
did two. There's two press conferences. One was in Arizona and Phoenix, and one was in Utah with Gary Bettman. And the first one was the one like, "Hey, we're moving the team." And this Alex Morello, he's like, looks like he's 60 maybe. He just wouldn't shut up. Like he just kept saying the dumbest shit. Like there was no PR. They didn't coach him on anything. Gary Bettman a few times, like kind of like literally like reached out and like touched his arm, I got like
like
shut up. I got this.
yeah,
Shut your mouth. He's like, I don't like the media. You know, like just give me like someone asked about like season ticket holders. Are they going to get their money back? Like just let me breathe a minute, man. Let's just let me breathe. It's like
yeah.
you're a
I
billionaire
did
that owns
hear
six
that.
casinos. Shut up.
Yeah,
Like give people
just
their money back, which they're going to.
and
But
yeah, and what the 5,000 seat arena there? You're gonna give your 17 season ticket holders their money back?
well, yeah.
Yeah,
but but even when you look at the arena that they're going to go play in Utah, I assume it's the one where the Jazz play.
yeah. I'm pretty sure it
It's
is.
only 12,000 seats. It's not that much, but they've sold like 20,000 season
20,000
tickets.
season
How does
tickets
that happen?
within.
Now I'm wondering if like half seasons and stuff are like included as like one. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
maybe I don't know. Um, but they said there's going to be some where it's like slightly obstructed view. Like sounds like a Winnipeg situation because I think
Australia,
their
and
arena was smaller too. Not that I'm the obstructed, but like
even the Islanders when they played at Barclays,
oh
like
yeah, not great.
there was problems with that.
Well, it wasn't set up for hockey, and neither
No,
is this one.
and that's what I'm looking at. I'm bringing up the Delta Center right now,
Hmm. I mean, better
and
than playing in a college rink, and it'll feel like a professional arena because, like, again, there
yeah,
are
hockey
most.
is 14,000 seats.
Oh, 14. Oh, I mean, they said it was 12. So okay, 14. Sure. I mean, that's better for sure. I mean, you most of them are around what 17, 18.
Yeah,
So if they can find a way to get people in, I'm sure it's one of these things where it's like, do they now look at, hey, we'll get a new arena, soon. Like we'll try and look at that, to count for both teams. Maybe
yeah,
it's worth it for having for this Utah NHL team and the Jazz, rather than just like the Utah Jazz. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? I don't even. You're the NBA guy. Are they doing like? Are they? They're just
That's the
like
thing
a
from the
team. Like they're just
Cavs.
there.
They're just sitting there.
They just kind of exist because I don't. I've never.
Because when I think of Utah, I think Jazz.
Yeah, that's about it. Utah, the Utah Mormons.
Yep.
So, like, pretty interesting. Now, the other thing too is, uh, there's like this window of 5 years for this Morello guy that if they build an arena, they're gonna basically get an expansion team. Like they'll bring the Coyotes back. They'll still be the Phoenix Coyotes or the Arizona Coyotes, whatever. But it will be like the Kraken, the Golden Knights. They're gonna have an expansion draft.
Expansion draft and
Like they they said they like the market. They just haven't had the ownership. Like they just
it's
haven't had like this guy went just from talking or hearing him talk. He ain't it,
not the
man.
right guy. Is he
No.
like the Tom Gores of the NHL?
Yeah. Yeah. Like just dude, shut up.
Just oh
Like
god.
just not the guy. And so that's gonna be the issue. What I think too is I think they know that this guy's not gonna get an arena built. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's no way. Because they've been trying so much and they lost out on this bid for the land
for the land
like on the
to,
last second. Like
yeah, it's
just an absolute shit show. You know what'd be hilarious though?
what?
Is if the land where they're gonna build the arena was up for bid.
Mhm.
If you really, really wanted a hockey team and you just happen to be the owner of the Utah Jazz,
Bid on
and
the land.
can you imagine?
That'd
That'd
have
be
been
brilliant.
that'd be the
Thanks.
perfect way to just to screw over the
And then you build the arena, and then you own the Coyotes too.
bingle bangle.
Yoink. Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting. Like even from a player standpoint, what are you gonna do? Like there was some reports, oh, the players aren't too jazzed about it. See what I did there?
I see what you did.
But you kind of, it is what it is. You got to go there and play. So I mean, the guys that signed, a long-term Arizona contract. Number one, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? And
Number
then
two, this happens. Like you could get traded. See
that's
ya.
true.
This is different though, but they're keeping the coach, they're keeping the GM, all the players. But the owner was pretty cutthroat. He's like, all right, you got a year to like show me what's up. Fair enough. If you want to get your own guys in there, give them a year. Kind of gives the owner kind of a buffer year. Like, all right, like we'll
True.
just figure this out for now, and
True.
go from there. So now it's kind of a shit show. Just think about this. So is Timu Solani a Utah legend?
You would have to be right.
Yeah. Like, what do you do with all of the history? Like, this been from Winnipeg to
Bobby
Phoenix to
Hall,
Utah. Yeah, like Dale
Dale
Howardchuk.
Hawerchuk
So, like, do they like what do they do? They hang the banner? Like, well, Shane Doan's banner
was in
from
the
the one
Gila
was in the.
Arena.
They just left it, and a guy took it and he gave
Yeah,
it back to him, which is nuts. So my question is, well, what's hanging in the the 5,000 seat arena?
I don't think anything.
They didn't hang Doan's jersey. He's the only one that got his jersey retired, right?
I don't
By
think that.
wait,
Yeah,
isn't there?
yeah. But
I
do they
bet you
have
there's.
the Winnipeg ones? I don't think they have the Winnipeg ones hanging up there, do they?
That's weird. I want to look that up actually because that's an interesting. So it would be Arizona Coyotes retired
Retired
numbers.
numbers. Yeah. Which-
I think like they would still be retired, right?
We'll even look at the
Okay, it's just
roster.
it's just Shane Doan. They have a lot in like what they call the Ring of Honor, I guess.
Yeah, and that's I know like Vancouver's done the Ring of Honor there as well. A couple teams have done it where they don't fully retire the jersey number, but it's like okay,
Back in February 2019, Doan had his number retired by the Coyotes, with his number 19 being raised to the rafters at Gila River Arena, now known as the Desert Diamond Arena, formerly known as a Jobbing.com Center.
yep.
When the team was forced to vacate the arena and move to Mullet Arena, they apparently forgot to bring the banner with them. How do you forget that shit?
It just shows how much of a shit
Oh,
show the team is.
so I guess Ring of Honor makes it easier,
Yeah,
but I guess there would have to be some way that, you know, if you're that new owner, you kind of have to embrace it a
Embrace
little,
the
like, you know what I mean?
embrace the history, but like,
But also, would you feel weird as a Coyotes fan? Like, would you feel weird if the Canucks moved to, like, Houston, and then they still had like Henrik and Daniel
and
and
Bure
and all these guys hanging there? You'd be
Naslund, and
like, what the
I
like,
would think that's when you do that Ring of Honor with them.
yeah, to kind of go like, well, this is kind of the
This is our
franchise
history,
history.
but
This isn't like actual. They weren't here technically, but it's almost like it's so weird now because like Timo Solani goes back to Winnipeg. The Jets are there, but he technically wasn't part of that franchise.
yeah,
So wild to really think out. But like, no, actually, this is interesting because no one else got their jersey retired by the Jets. Is that what they're saying? Because if it's just Doan, there had to be. Like, I'm gonna type in Dale Howardchuk retired number.
I'll search Winnipeg Jets.
Yes, they did. They retired it during the 06-07 season. So this is interesting actually. This is like really weird to me. Bobby Hull would be retired too.
Yeah,
They only had Doan hanging. So they didn't honor
Bobby
the
Hall,
Winnipeg
Howard Chuck,
stuff.
and Thomas Steen.
So now, okay, wait a minute. Is that retired with the current Jets?
No,
Is that that had
retired, honored by the original Winnipeg Jets, Arizona Coyotes. Because I do remember Arizona did keep number 9 out of circulation
until
until
Brett
Brett
got there for
Hull. Yeah,
5 games or whatever? So no, you see what I'm asking you though? Howard Chuck, Bobby Hall. Is it retired for this current Jets team? Like, are they in the rafters at the whatever it's called now
I
in
don't know.
Winnipeg?
At the Canada
This
Life
is
Center there.
is that what it's called?
Uh,
I remember it as the MTS
uh,
Center.
I don't
It's
know.
wild, man. That's a really good thing. Like, I don't know. Do you honor that as like
I
a
think it
Winnipeg
is
Jets thing?
as a Winnipeg thing. It looks like it is honored,
Okay, but they don't have
but
like banners though.
I don't know if they have like I don't know if they have banners hanging up.
Man, that's kind of wild. Like, think about that. If you like, you're Shane Doan, you had your jersey retired, and it's a big thing, right?
Oh,
To me,
absolutely.
to me, there's like jersey banner, statue, like that's as high as you can get,
Yeah.
right? Statue would be one, banners two. Not a lot of people get a statue.
No.
Only the legends. You get your jersey retired, that's like the highest honor for that team, right? As a player, it's getting into the Hall of Fame, but for a specific team, it's getting your jersey retired. And you get that, and then it's gone. Like, it's not a thing anymore. So that's going to be the interesting thing. Is there going to be a number 19 skating around the ice for Utah?
I
You know what I
don't.
mean?
I personally don't think so.
Right, but I don't think they're going to have a banner for him.
No. No. I don't think, like
It's
I
weird.
said, I think they do the whole Ring of Honor thing instead of
It's just funny that like Shane Doan played what, like 1 year with Winnipeg, and
yeah,
then they moved to
the
Phoenix,
Phoenix
and then
and
his son,
is
I
now
forget his
wearing
name,
91,
where 91. I think Josh Doan.
something like that.
He played like a little bit at the end of the year for the Coyotes, and they're immediately moving.
Yeah.
So kind of same idea, right? So maybe he'll be a Utah legend. So that was the big meat and potatoes that I really wanted to talk about was this Utah thing. Like, I think the second thing that I wanted to ask you too was like, are we getting to the point where like if they are gonna expand like with this Coyotes again, Coyotes
hmm
2.0, are we getting to the point where it's gonna be too much? What do you think? Like,
Like where do you cap off that? So 32 teams, and that would be what, 33, and
well, they'd have to bring another in. Well, not necessarily. I always thought like, oh, you'd have to bring in two, but they had 31 for a second before Vegas or before Seattle showed up.
it's true. I think though you
So
would bring in 2, and that's when you would look at it
I never understood the
rather
math
markedly.
on games played, how you would get everybody to play 82 with an odd number of teams. Blew my mind. But like that would be something where like we're at the point even now where why aren't they why aren't they doing like NFL type divisions, like 4 teams in each division?
'Cause that'd make too much sense.
I mean, you'd have to change your format slightly, but like, why not? Be kind of neat to like group 4 together. You want kind of some rivalries, and then that's the way to do it, right?
Mhm.
but have those teams play each other a little bit more like they used to. Like the Central Division, the old Central Detroit, St. Louis, Chicago, Columbus, Nashville, they played each other like exclusively. Like
Yeah.
33% of your season was against those four teams, right? I mean, I guess you want to see everybody, but um, what's the number where it's like, all right, that's way too much, like for you?
For sure, 40 is way too much.
40. Shit, I was gonna say
I
34.
I was gonna say 36 is gonna be too much.
The thing obviously, and you get it, but money talks, right?
Oh,
So as long as
absolutely.
these teams are making money, like they'll keep expanding. Like it, but we've asked the question before a couple years ago when we did our original six draft. Like, are we watering it down? There's guys in the league even now where it's like, should they really be? You know what I
Should
mean?
they
Like,
be?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Some of these teams, at the bottom are really bad. Some of the teams at the top are really good, and then there's everybody in the middle. But I think it would work itself out. It's just I feel like you get too many, and then it's like, well, then you're extremely diluting your team's chance of winning a cup ever,
Yeah.
right? It gets harder and harder and harder and harder, which I guess makes it more special if you do win it. But it's tough, right? Like, where are we going? Where would you go if you needed 36 teams? You had to add four spots. Two in the East, two in the West. Like where would you go?
Where would I go? Well, then you look at Arizona coming back.
Sure.
Uh, I'm gonna say Houston.
Okay. Fair.
I see the Atlanta's possibly coming back. Like, there's always that.
Same idea with the Coyotes. They didn't have good ownership. Like that was a big problem with the Thrashers is they just didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to hire GMs and coaches. It never worked for a market that's that big. I'm sure the NHL is looking at chops like, oh my god, if we can do this with Vegas and Seattle,
There's
you know.
we should be
But
able to get this with these other.
well, another thing too is like they Utah really only has one other team. It's the Jazz. Like there's
Yeah.
no other, and even like with Vegas, like the Golden Knights were the first team to be in Vegas.
Then the
Now we've
Raiders
got the
came,
Raiders, and now we're
and
gonna have
they've
the
got
A's.
baseball, and
So it's like they're following suit. Like I'm just trying to think if there's anywhere that the NHL can like take advantage of, like you know, maybe a northern team, even like I think I said that to you too, like Green Bay, something in Wisconsin or uh, like
like
North
Milwaukee or
Dakota.
something.
Like North Dakota has an insane NCAA
College
program. They got a
college
great
program
college,
is yeah.
yeah, or even you know, weird spots like I don't know, up in
Des
like
Moines,
Maine or something. I don't fucking know, like something like that. Like somewhere where there's not all four sports, where you can just be like the
the
play in town, where it's like yeah, it's a smaller population, but we have it all. And like the NFL's never coming here, MLB's never coming. You know what I mean? Like this is
yeah.
our spot, right? Kind of rare. I don't think we're ever going to get, not ever. I shouldn't say that. More Canadian teams. I
I
think it's going
think
to be very rare.
people always say Quebec and stuff, but
Yeah.
I think that
I don't
ship has
know.
sailed.
This with the way the Canadian dollar is basically like monopoly money.
Yeah.
So, it's not worth it, you know. So they're going to look at markets that are going to be it. You know what though? Like any Canadian team that comes in is going to be insane, but that's not what it's all about. It's about the money.
No, it's all about the money.
Exactly. Um, so yeah, that was kind of like the biggest stuff that I wanted to talk about. I had a few bullet points, and then we'll get into our playoff predictions. Just quickly, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the PWHL, and this is kind of an interesting segue because we talk about having too many teams. PWHL has their like original six, right? I don't know how much you've
8,
kind of followed it. Six,
6? Well, I
yeah,
thought it was 8 teams.
three,
Oh,
three
yeah,
Canadian,
3.
three American.
Yeah.
It's Montreal, Toronto,
And Toronto
Ottawa.
just clinched playoffs.
Yep, New York, Boston, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
So I this is an interesting thing because like we went to that Boston and Ottawa game
Ottawa
in
game in
Detroit,
Detroit.
right?
Yep. Yep.
And I think we had a good time. Like it was something after the Wings game, right?
Yep.
So we got to go back and we sat in like the club seats. Um, like What did you think about just like first of all, what did you think about the game in general?
It's a lot like the first thing that you had to do is not compare it to an NHL game.
Absolutely.
Um,
It was the biggest thing I took away from it. Is for the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And then I'm like, yeah, but we just watched the Wings game. Like, push that out of your mind and just like
just
see it for what
focus
it
on it.
is, and just is this entertaining? Do you like it?
And I had a good time with it. I was
Hmm.
when it comes down to it, that I entertained? Yes, it was. It's some good. It was some good hockey to watch, and it's something where in women's sports too, like you you need to have something for them.
For sure. And like, but they've done it before, or they tried.
Yeah,
They
they've
had the
tried.
Canadian League, they had
Can
the American League, but it was like you guys can't have separate. Put it all
no,
together, and they have. Um, I think they're off to a really good start. I'll just say that because I'll say I've actually kind of like randomly tuned into some games. I haven't been watching it hardcore or anything like that, but I
no,
generally know like who's doing well and some of the maybe the more top players, I guess, and just seeing the difference between I told you about the difference between an NHL game and like a Spitfires game.
yeah,
It's still hockey. It's a different game. Like and this was too. Like the PWHL was completely
absolutely,
different
it's different.
and it will evolve over time. Um, like the thing that was really entertaining was actually like they were hitting. They played
Yeah,
hard. There was more hits in that game than probably the Wings game.
and the Wings
I
game,
mean,
yeah,
now there is issues in like to look at it maybe more big picture, but like just the way that like say for me, I never like double A. It's as much as I played, but when we were young, we were 10. That was when we started body checking. Now it's 14, which is a completely different conversation. I don't agree with it. I think you should be learning how to do this when you're 10. And the reason we learned it back then was because it was a skill and it was something you had to have awareness where you are, right? And that's something that I think some of these big hits that we saw in Detroit for the Boston and Ottawa game was just poor awareness for where you are on the ice because these players have never played body checking. You know,
yeah,
they have awareness in other ways, right? Of where people are on the ice or situations, things like that. But that's a that's a whole different thing that we're adding into the game, right? It'd be like playing football, but there's one guy out there that can carry around a baseball bat. Like
yeah.
you're not expecting that, right? This is something where if they're gonna have like body checking contact, I'm all for it because you need to make this product entertaining, and that's the bottom line. Anything like that needs to be entertaining for the fans to want to watch it and consume your product. But what I want to say is they're gonna have to find a way to incorporate that underneath them. Because it would be like getting into a point where, hey, we're only gonna teach you how to take a slap shot when you're 18 years old. We're not going to allow slap shots until you're 18. Well, at that point, you've already learned how to just take a wrist shot and a snap shot and a backhand. When are you ever going to take a slap shot? It's never been anything you've needed. So
Yeah.
now all of a sudden you need it. You understand kind of what I'm saying with the whole the body checking thing, like just so nobody like gets hurt because that's the thing, right? Someone's gonna get hurt like bad because they're gonna get caught in a weird spot. They're gonna come up into the league, and that's what's gonna happen. First year, it's gonna be fine. Second year, third year, fourth year, you get some draft picks coming in, some young girls coming in, and they're
Who
not
haven't
ready
played
for
with
that
it,
shit.
it's
They
yeah.
haven't played with it yet. So, like, in the thing too, and this is something I'll ask. This is the second question for you. For the league in general, do you think they're on the right track? Is there anything that you think they need to do better or that they're doing well? Like, what's your overall thought about like just how they've done it this first year?
The first year, I think it's gone really well for them. I think it's been a big success. Uh, Couple things that I would do is don't directly market just towards the female audience
That's fair.
or to the girls, because
You're gonna have to, in a way, to like
yeah, but don't
get them watching.
solely do it to for them.
You have to almost do like hockey fans. They would want me and you to
Yeah,
watch. We're talking about it.
yeah,
We obviously I've said on the one I think episode I said if they had a Detroit franchise, I'm
yeah.
in.
He'd be in.
Like I'll go to some games and watch it. And I mean, I got a young daughter, sure. I mean, I'd bring her to games too because she played hockey. Then there you go. You could that's the highest
But
level you can get to,
there's
right? You
yeah,
get paid uh,
and I
but
would say don't expand too quickly. Do these games that are in these other markets, like these test markets. So
yeah,
play like the games in Pittsburgh, play the game in Detroit, play the game in wherever, and
they did, and I think they will expand, and I think the same idea where it's like, oh, it's a little bit watered down. I think it's just it's such in its infancy where the things that I really like about the league is sponsorships. The NHL is backing it. The crowds, they're still going. I thought, you know,
it'd
maybe
be
this will kind of, fizzle out a bit. It hasn't, which is great. People that want it to fail are just, you know what I mean? Bigots. Just
it's
like,
yeah,
you know, they finally got the league, and there should be one. And that's the thing is they can almost do what we were talking about with the Utah thing. Yeah, you want maybe a big market like Detroit or a Pittsburgh or Philly, or a lot of where the NHL teams are, because naturally there's a lot of fans there. But I did hear one of the players getting interviewed about, oh, where should we go next? And like North Dakota was one of them, and like some of these NCAA schools where like right now that's kind of like the highest you can go,
that's
other
where
than playing world championships and like national team, is it's NCAA, and then like that's it, right?
yeah,
So they could try to find some niche market like that where they would be number one. Like this is the pro game in town and everyone's gonna go. Is it risky? Yes. But I think they'll figure it out in terms of like even the infrastructure of a team in general. Think about what they have to build. And they're gonna continuously have to build. Think about just think about your Canucks.
yep.
Who's at the top of the totem pole? Like for the Canucks?
Right now,
Yeah.
you're looking at Hughes. Hughes is the
No, no, no. Sorry. So you got your owner. Like
like
yeah, your
Aquilini,
hierarchy. You got
Aquilini there,
okay. What's under that?
and it's like your board of governors and
Sure. And then you got your GM.
GM,
Got your
yeah,
assistant GMs. Underneath that, coaches. Underneath
coaches,
that, scouts. Right.
yep,
So they have scouts for pro and amateur. Correct.
yeah,
So the PWHL is going to need to employ all these teams are going to have to employ these like scouts to go find more talent, because I think you might agree, I don't think the best talent is there yet. I think they still need to be discovered. And I think obviously the best of the best, they're going to be there because they're going to
because this
find their
is
way
it.
to it. But there's going to be even some. They're going to have to scout Europe. They're going to have to find, you know, talent to come over, and obviously that's going to reflect too with the better this league is, the more revenue they're bringing in, the more they can pay their players, and players from Europe will go, "Oh, I'm going to make X amount. Yeah, sure, I'll go play in,
Go play in North
Ottawa or
America.
whatever." Yeah, because right now there wasn't that many. There was a few when we went and watched on Ottawa and Boston, but not
Yeah,
a
but
lot. It was mostly
it's
American Canadians,
North.
right?
Yeah, they're mostly North American. I think you're right on that. It's
Well, the one girl on Ottawa, I was watching warm ups and I'm like, Jesus, girl has like the really good hands. Like just from watching warm ups and watching the stick handling, and it was a Russian girl, I think. I forget what the name was, Mershna something Ova. I don't know. She was really good,
she
like
was
playmaker. And I think she was at the top 10 in scoring at the time, but that was like
okay.
a month and a bit ago. But I don't think they've found all of the talent yet. So when you say don't expand too aggressive, I don't think they will. They'll probably do like two at a time because they want to be able to not a vampire to the other teams. We're sucking away all your talent. We're
Yeah.
diluting it. Where it's like maybe let this go for a few years with the six, let them build, right?
Hmm.
And then a new team coming in, you go, all right, here's your blueprint. Here's what you need. These teams have figured it out, over the last 3 years. You're good to go. I don't know. That's kind of the thoughts that I have about, and then they're going to get on a much smaller scale, but they're going to get their branding, they're going to get their team names and logos and jerseys and swag and all that stuff. That's massive too. You know,
Yeah,
you got to be able to, go and get some stuff. Well, that was the thing. We went to the game at LCA and there was nothing there. Like they didn't have any.
everything was just well, there was, but we
There
just
was,
didn't.
but it sold out immediately. It's like,
Yeah,
which I
it's
look
all
at it and go,
PWHL branding, but that's good for them. It's great.
sure, I would have grabbed the T-shirt. Wasn't it like it was like $20?
Yeah, something like that.
I would have done that 100%. So that PWHL, I think they're doing a good job. I like how it's televised. A lot of the games you can just throw on TSN or Sportsnet, like it'll be on there, and you can watch it. And it's not like you have to watch, 30 something other different teams. You really could watch almost every game if you were a nerd for it.
Yeah,
So,
if that's the
which
one thing you're gonna
yeah,
go
which
over
I'm
then.
not, but um, here's something I'm going to talk about because I can't really do it on the Red Wings report, but you Sens fans out there, you're little bitches, eh? Like,
And I was
holy shit.
asking you why you
Yeah,
calling them little bitches?
they really are, man. They just online, you go on Twitter and stuff like that. It's just this started last off season, okay? The Senators were a fly. We never fucking cared about the Senators, and we really, as Red Wings fans, don't still. Like, it's it's amusing to me, right? They don't matter. But it happened with this whole DeBrinket thing. That's what happened when DeBrinket was wanted out, and they were yapping at him, and then Detroit came in, scooped them up, made the trade. And at the time, I'm like, "That's a great trade for Detroit." I still think it was a great trade for Detroit because Kubalik stunk. He didn't do shit, and they gave a one for him. Um, any other like fan base probably would have just moved on, been like, all right, fuck him, like whatever, boo him like the first time he comes back, whatever, and just who cares, right? He didn't want to be here. See you later. He's there for a year, right? That was
Yeah,
it, and he had a pretty good season this year. I've never seen a fan base so obsessed with a player that doesn't play for them.
just living
They
rent free in their heads, eh?
Holy, I was like, "God, move on." But the thing is, they didn't have anything else to hang their hat on because they suck. They they have nothing. They have nobody. It's like all your heroes have left. All your heroes, look at me. All your heroes have gone. Alfredson, he was a Red Wing. He wanted to leave. Get me the fuck out of here. I want to try to win.
That's
Hey, who else? Marian Hossa. Bye bye. He's wearing a Red Wings jersey too. How about Mike Fisher? He gone. Jason Spezza, Marty Havlat. Should we keep going? Wade Red, Zdeno Chara. They all were like, "Get
Danny
me
Heatley.
out of here." Yeah, Heat Daddy, get me the fuck out of Ottawa. I don't want to be here. You have to retire Chris Neal's jersey. That's what you've got. That's like us. That's like us retiring Kirk Maltby, and that was it. That's all we had. That's it. And they can't let it go, and they never will. They're always like quote tweeting shit about, well, here's the brinket we know. It's like you've been eliminated for 3 weeks. Shut up. It's
Yeah,
so funny.
you're going on holidays.
They quote that Stutzla goal. I think it was was it in Sweden where like Reimer ducked out of the way. Remember that where he batted it in? Because
Off the
Ottawa
top of my
played
head, no.
Detroit in Sweden. There
In
was this
Sweden,
weird
yeah.
game where like they scored, like Stützle scored in overtime. It like bounced up and he whacked at it, and for some reason Reimer like ducked out of the way and it went in. They're like, "Oh, this is the point Detroit needed to make the playoffs." It's like, like really that one? It might have been all the other games they lost too. I'm not sure about
On that
that, but
7-game losing streak and all that.
if
Yeah,
that
there's
if that's what you deem successful for your season, then God bless you guys. You had a great season by eliminating us in what was that, November? Wasn't that they got eliminated in like December? So who
yeah,
cares?
they're just poo.
It's so funny. Like I've never seen a more relevant team. They're just not good. They're like, oh, we got Shane Pinto, and he gets suspended for half the season for gambling. We got Drake Batherson. We got all these fucking. Now they're like shitting all over Thomas Shabbat, even though I'd take him in a heartbeat. They shit all over Jacob Chikrin, even though I'd take him. You know, it's just what a weird fan base. And your arena sucks. Your arena is dog shit. You got to take a plane from Ottawa to get to the arena, right? And then when you want to walk around the concourse, you can't because it stops because there's some weird section you can't go in. Like,
Oh
let me walk
God.
around. I feel like I'm in a parking garage. Get a new arena, get a new team. Just move out of Ottawa. Go to Houston or Utah. Do
Yeah.
something.
Or you double team in Utah. Let's do it.
No, seriously, we just get 2 teams in Utah. It'll be completely fine. Um, okay, here's a really funny thing, and I think we've talked about this before. Did we talk about the whole like, probably not on the podcast, but the whole Bucci comparing Trevor Zegers to Pavel Datsuk?
Yes,
Huh.
we've talked about that, and
Did we talk
it's
about it on the show? I don't know if we did.
I don't know if we did on
I
here
left
or
it on
not.
there. I was that pissed off because
It
John
was
Bucci on ESPN was like, Trevor Zegers is like gonna turn it. He's like he's ceiling as Pavel Datsuk. I'm like, in regards to what? He can't sniff Pavel's jockstrap. Like
that Datsuk was just
Datsuk never
something
did
else to watch.
like Michigans and shit. He just was a magician and also won like 3 or 4 Selkie trophies, which Trevor Zegers can't even start a face off in his own end. So I just was
So
perplexed.
what's with that comparison, right? It's
Sometimes you hear comparisons, you're like, I don't know about that one, but like draft comparables, you're like, all right, yeah, okay, really? How do you? Well, he skates like Eric Lindros. I'm like, so he's heavy.
so he's going to be
He's gonna get
concussed for
concussed.
half
What are we
his
talking
career.
about? Yeah. So I just that was insane. And then I got another one on here um, that I got to look up. It was really funny because ESPN is just constantly like boning itself. And there was I think it might have been during a Red Wings game. No, it was Seattle and Dallas. And I'm gonna pull this. I'm gonna see if I can share this on here. It's gonna be really hard to see. So at the top of the screen when you're watching a game, um, I have no idea why this says it. It's got there's like 4.5 minutes left in the first period, 0-0 game, Seattle power play,
Yeah.
and it's has this thing next to the score bug, and it says Seattle like on ice. Here's the players that are on the ice,
Hmm.
and it's um it's Beniers, Eberle, Burakovsky, McCann, and Evans. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how this happens. This happens constantly with ESPN. Okay, anytime I see an ESPN game, I'm gonna see if will zoom in a little bit here. Hopefully, it'll.
I don't think it's going to
There we
focus.
go.
Okay. Yeah.
Read the names.
I can't. Too blurry.
Okay, I can see it. Justin Beniers, Matty Eberle,
What?
Jordan
What?
Burakovsky, Andre
So it's
McCann, and Jared Evans. So it's all shifted to the left.
it just
That's
looks Mickey Mouse.
uh that that is what you call ESPN hockey for you, man. I, there's been so many screw ups, but I saw that and I was like, I got to show Bobo because it was just incredible.
That is funny.
Like for what it is, how does that happen? Like just put the names that they were all shifted. The first names were shifted over.
Or just put the
So
last
like
names.
Andre Burakovsky, Andre was on like Matty Beniers, and then Matty was on Jordan
Eberly,
Eberle, and
and
then Jordan
Eberly
was on
was
Evans. I don't even know who Evans is, to be honest with you. Who is that? Never heard of him in my life.
just keep the last name if you don't want to
No,
do it right.
exactly. Um, okay, last thing, then we'll do quick playoff predictions. Okay, DH gate. Why did we do it? Why-
uh, because we thought it was going to be a good idea.
I guess so. We did. And for people that don't know what DH gate is, it's a website and an app that is basically like cheap jerseys from China. That's how I can describe it.
Yep.
You've probably seen a boatload of them at games if you've gone to them. Me and Bobo are nerds, and we know exactly which ones they are just by looking at them.
Boom.
It's just you
Name
pick
bar's
them right
wrong.
out. Yeah, like it's the
The
colors a
numbers
little
wrong.
off. The logo is
Crest
not
is
center
puffy.
right. But we decided in our wisdom, like, hey, we should just put an order. And we used to do it back like what,
Back when
12,
I
13 years ago,
back when I was
when
in
that's all we
college,
could afford.
I would do that all the time. I would just
That's all we could afford.
do orders,
Back then they were
jersey
like
orders.
18 bucks. It was great. I had like I had a Facebook memory pop up. It was like trying to sell some jerseys. It was like Claude Giroux Winter Classic. Why did I have that? Laney McDonald,
Because
Colorado
yeah,
Rockies.
just because.
Oh, why the hell do I have these? So, but we did an order, pretty big one, and it was for me, you, and my brother. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, like I got a few, and like it takes a long time to come in, a long time.
Yeah,
You are technically still waiting for one.
I am, and it's been
It
what, a month and
in
a half?
been almost 2. I ordered in February. I messaged the guy. Let's see if he even messaged back because you never get like a notification. I'm gonna fire it up. We'll see if they email back. But there's a Quinn Hughes jersey. You're just like, oh, just get this one.
Yeah.
Well, hasn't come in yet, and so someone must have messaged here. Um, New arrival is coming soon. What?
New
Okay,
stuff coming
wait. That
in.
might not. That might. Would you like to? Would you like to change it into other ones? I'm
No,
gonna put. Why the hell would I do that?
but I will say the jerseys that I've gotten, you could tell they're like I could tell that they're a knock, but they're in
Why the
pretty good
Why the hell
quality.
would I do that? Send me the one I ordered. This is stupid. Send. Anyway, DH Gate is not reliable because you're getting our logo girl. That's what you're getting.
Yeah, you're getting
Might have been someone's like, oh shit, I don't want to make it. But like, okay, I got a Peterborough Pete Steve Eiserman jersey because why the fuck not?
yeah,
There was some weight to it. It's stitched. It's something where I went, I this is what I expected. You know,
yeah.
it's not going to be like lightweight in that fight. They're going to make it look like it kind of should, and it is what it is. And you rightly pointed out that Steve Eisenman never wore a Reebok jersey. But yeah, I know. Okay, it's the only one they had that looked
I'm a
old.
nerd like that.
So am I. And the fact that you pointed it out pissed me off because you're right.
Yep.
Uh, but like the Ducks ones for my brother. Okay, I felt bad. Let me just get this out of the way. He didn't give a shit. He did
Okay.
not care.
Okay.
He's like, nah, it's fine. Like whatever. So um, he ended up getting a Troy Terry. No, they got so many jerseys now, but it's like the anniversary one where it's like the duck head, but it's like
The
the old
30th.
shoulder patch here,
Yeah, with
30th.
the round
Yeah,
O
it's like a crest.
logo and
Um, and it's like the purple jersey with a little bit of the like turquoise trim. And it was okay. Like there were some spots where it was like there was a silver kind of like ring that's supposed to like established it whatever. Well, one side it kind of like didn't look like it stuck very well. Um, but that one was pretty good. But then the other, he got another 5, and his thing was he wants to like shadow box these and put them in his basement. It's gonna look pretty sweet. And he was trying to go for some of these vintage Mighty Ducks jerseys because it's really expensive to get real ones,
yeah,
right? Very expensive. And so he got a white 2003 Paul Correa. He got the Mighty Ducks, right?
yeah.
He got a like 1998 Solani where it was kind of more straight across. Like if I say that, you probably know what I'm talking about.
I
People
know
won't.
exactly what jersey you're
He
talking
got the
about.
2005 said Mighty Ducks in the
Yep,
script logo. I think
yep.
that one was a Solani. Um, yeah, Troy Terry, and then
The
he got
Wild
2 other
Wing.
ones. He got the Wild Wing bursting through not the reverse retro, the original, Korea, and oh, I forget what the last one was. That might have been it actually. He might have got only. I think he got 5. I say only. He got 5,
Only.
but the 4 were all from the same place. And in the like description of the pictures, they all looked pretty good.
Stitch
And when we got
and
them
nice.
in, not so much. Like they were dye sublimated crap. And when I say that, it's like printed jersey. So, the ones that me and Boba usually get are stitched, right? Like they
You would
put some
think.
effort and this was, oh, it was rough because like they were okay. And it'll honestly be easier to shadow box because there's no crest that you have to fold or anything. It'll be way easier for him to shadow box. And the sizes, way off. Those were like XLs. He ordered mediums. They were huge. Like Shannon put one on and it was like the sleeves went like this far past her hand. Like, oh
Oh
my
wow.
God, holy crap. Um, the funniest thing, and I showed you the Mighty Ducks, the white one.
Yep, with the
So the patch on the shoulder, it's supposed to be like a what do they call it? Like a I don't know, like a purple, right? Kind of
yeah,
purple burgundy, whatever the color is. Well, it was red.
eggplant.
Yeah, eggplant was red. I'm like, what the hell is this?
It's a
So
new
that was
new
off,
Ducks color.
like weird. And then, and I didn't even realize this was on the jersey that I ordered, and I don't think it was, but it had this a Stanley Cup uh, finals patch because in '03 they made the final. They lost to New Jersey. Only problem is this patch is 2002. That's when the Wings won the cup. So that's not legit either. And there's a little bit of a shit stain on the back too. I don't know what it was, but that's how I opened it. Uh,
That's what it
I guess
is.
you pay what you get. You get what you
You
pay
get what you
for
pay for.
in a way. But I would say most of the time over the years we've been very lucky with what we've got, where the quality's decent, and you can tell. Like even the JJ Watt jersey or the
The
AJ
TJ
Watt,
Watt, yeah.
TJ Watt, AJ, TJ, whatever. There's an AJ, isn't there? Anyway, like it it was in pretty good condition. Like I actually had to go and like there was some threads I went and cleaned up for you
Oh,
because the
good
stitching
guy.
was a little off. But well, I got my seam tear here, so I got to use it, right?
A little shank
So
there, and
and then we actually when we went to our Tigers Red Wings doubleheader, that was a lot of fun. I don't did we talk about that on the pod?
no, we didn't.
No, we didn't. We wore well to the Red Wings game at night. The Detroit Tigers like the warm up hockey jersey that they wore last year for Tigers night. And we got that off DH Gate. Only thing is, the name bar was just straight across. It wasn't the arched name bar like it should look like. And I'm
Which is what
going
you
to
say you're gonna go get that fixed.
right. I need that jersey back because I'm going to take the name bar
It's
off.
just hanging
'Cause I'm-
up on the door.
Okay, because I was going to try and I don't know when I'm going to bring them in at one point. Anyway, but that was the only issue with those ones. But man, how fun was that?
That was a hell of a day.
I haven't got that hammer in a while.
It's how's your stomach from the chicken?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, so we go to this place. Like, this is the first time I've gone to home opener,
Yeah,
right?
same.
I don't know about you if it was the first time, but um, first time that I've gone, and we go over there, and I thought we were going early. We were over there like 8:30, 8:45. We weren't there early at all. Like parking was nuts, $60, and like we were driving around where I thought we were going to be able to park,
Yep.
parking passes only, but we ended up finding a spot, paid for it, whatever, just take the hit. And we go to our usual spots, which I mean, Bobo, our usual spots, right?
Yep.
I mean, we're looking, you know, uh bookies, Bucharest Grill isn't like a place, but like looked at it. Harry's was nuts.
Harry's was
Tin Roof was
nuts.
packed. Brass Rail was
Hockey
packed.
Town.
Hockey Town lines out the door. I'm like, holy shit! Like, where are we gonna go? Like, we're here so early and we have nothing to do because people are already taking all these spaces up. So I knew that my boss was over there somewhere, and I'm like, oh well, just I know he's got the trailer. Let's just maybe try and find him. He says he's in Eastern Market, and I don't know where that is. So I Google it, and I get it's across the I-75 from Ford Field, basically that area. I don't. We're walking over there. I'm like, I've never been this way. It's nothing out this way, and we
Lo and
find this
behold,
place. Yeah, we find this place called Burt's,
Bert's.
and I'm like, this is a weird spot. There's nothing really around it. We walk in, and we're like, oh, like we can get in here. Cool. Like it's open. Like you sit at the bar. We get
Had a couple
the
drinks,
bucket of beer for like
bucket
25
of
bucks or whatever.
bucket of beer, a couple shots.
Yeah, a little Pink Whitney's, and it was fun. Like we hung out there for a couple hours, and that was great. And then I remember my boss texted me and going, "Hey, this is where we are." Wasn't anywhere close to where we were. I mean,
No,
it was like on Gratiot. There's like a spot, and we get there, and
your
like
boss
I
is
can't
doing
say
it
enough.
right.
My boss is awesome. He's the coolest shit. Really fun to work for. And we get in there, and he's like, "Kyle's here!" Blah! Like he gets so excited. I introduce you. He's like, "Yeah, like whatever, come on in." Like he didn't care. And he had this that cooler was massive. I don't know where you get those coolers that big. I swear to God, I remember like the
America.
fridge being knocked over and you just open it. It looked big. So, and he just was like feeding us beers, like, here, take him, take him. And I'm like, I was just coming for one, buddy. Like,
Yeah,
he just kept giving. We probably had 8 beers in like an hour and a half.
and we
And I had,
still ended up brought him into the game.
oh, yeah, we did. No, wait, no, we didn't. Yes, we did. Yeah, just put them in your pocket. So you can smuggle shit in if you want to. Um, and then I also got a coffee and Bailey's.
Yes,
He knows I'm a
sir.
coffee guy. It was like 85% Bailey's. It's like a little bit of coffee, Bailey's. And so, I mean, the game itself was probably like, I want to say it was cold, and we took some laps, right?
You had to do
So,
a couple
but
laps.
it was a lot of fun. We didn't really have that on our thing, but you know, that's the
Just a
thing
fun
I
day.
love doing. We did 3 double headers this year for different stuff. So
And I
fun.
wouldn't, and I don't
Yeah.
regret a single one.
And we got to talk because I want to see if we can get to a Grand Rapids like playoff game if it works out. Um, okay, last thing, and then we'll wrap it up. And we can just do this quick, but
Yeah, yeah.
just like little playoff thing. I know my picks and your picks, and we'll see how it goes. And I know it's already like a day in, but okay, let's go through each series, and we'll just kind of go maybe kind of back and forth, and you know see who
Yeah.
we think is going to win, how many games. So let's start for fun in let's see playoffs. I know the lineups, but I just want okay.
Beautiful.
All right, start me in the West here. Okay, so we'll go Dallas and the Vegas Golden Knights. What do you think?
I think it's gonna be good. But I think Vegas,
See, I'm going with Dallas here.
just because they screwed the LTIR.
Stone thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's something that's just even that. I get it's super weird that that's how it's going, but I will say that okay, he got hurt. He had a ruptured spleen. Could he have come back like a couple weeks ago? Like probably, but why? Like, and this is a
exactly.
rule where it's like, just keep him out, just buddy. We're going to playoffs. Stay out. We can use you in the playoffs, right? And in this way, it's a very rare circumstance that this would happen. In general, the fact that it's happened to the Golden Knights and Mark Stone 3 fucking years in a row is the one where people are like, well, what's going on here? They're not injuring him on purpose, but
No,
I'm going with
you're
Dallas.
going to Dallas. All right.
I think they're gonna because honestly the Golden Knights have kind of sputtered. They kind of got in they're in a wild card spot, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So Dallas has been a really good team, and I think people aren't really giving them the props because they don't have like a superstar, but they have a lot of very good
Very good
players,
players.
like a lot and very good depth. So I'll go Dallas. I'll take him in 7 though. I think
Okay.
Vegas is good too, so I think it'll be a 7 game series. Um, I'll go first with this one: Winnipeg and Colorado. Actually, you tell me what you think with that one because I have an interesting stat for you.
I think Colorado.
Okay,
Just
Colorado,
their.
how many games?
We'll give them a 5 game.
Whoa, you think they're gonna beat them in 5, eh?
I think
I don't know what the
5.
score is right now. I know it was 3-3, but I'm going Winnipeg because they were 3-0 against Colorado this season. And in
Winnipeg
like
is up right now.
yeah, and in
7 to
like
4.
whoa, really? Holy shit! Why are we doing this? You should have been watching the game.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I mean is like for some reason Winnipeg has had their number all year, so I like Colorado better. But just based on that, I went Winnipeg in my other pool as well. So I'll go
Makes
Winnipeg
sense.
in 7, just
Makes
because
sense.
Colorado is going to figure it out too. But just because of that, I don't know. They have their number a little bit. So, um, okay, you're going to start with this one too. This is your team, Vancouver and Nashville. Break it down a little.
I'm not going against my boys. They just I don't know
I've
what
done
it
it
was this
before.
year. I can not this round. I think even though Nashville was on a heater there at the end of the
Yeah,
year,
they were.
it's something where Vancouver just seems to be clicking. Just we sat out some guys on the last game, and Thatcher Demko's back, and
How many games?
uh, I think it's a 6 game series.
Me too. But sorry, buddy. I think it's going to
You're
be
going
Nashville.
Nashville.
I I just think they're heating up at the right time. And I think Vancouver kind of regressed to like kind of what, not to say that regression is like, hey, they suck now. No, they're clearly very good. But I like Nashville. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of pressure on Vancouver. That's the only reason I think that maybe the Predators have a shot at it. That being said, one of the big reasons why I did it is because I usually pick a lot of the top seeds and I go, well, which ones would I go? Oh, okay, I could see that happen. I could see it happening. Unfortunately for Vancouver to just like not win this series,
Oh,
but I am pulling.
fair enough.
It's not like I want Nashville to win. I just
No,
think that could
it's-
happen.
yeah,
Um, Edmonton and LA. I Oh man, that's a tough one too, and a lot of them it's like you're gonna say 6 and 7, but like I think I'm just gonna go Oilers because like they have to like
They
McDavid
have
and
to.
Draisaitl have to just carry them through one round at least, right?
They have to.
You know, the Kings are in an interesting spot where they still have, Kopitar and Doughty, but they also have some of these young guys, and even
Quentin Byfield and
yeah, where it's like okay,
whatnot.
they're building a little bit of something there too, but I just think if that firepower the Oilers have, they should win that series, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. So I would say with that one, you know what? Let's go nuts. I'm gonna say five. Edmonton and five, because there has to be one short series, right?
Yep.
That might be the one. Tell me who you think's gonna win the battle of the Sunshine State.
Who do I have in that? See, in that matchup, I think Florida. I know they won last night, but I can see that going 7.
I think that one's gonna be. I think Florida's actually gonna take this one because I think Tampa Bay, of all the teams that might be, on the way out and on the way down, might
It's
be
gonna
them
be them, eh?
because when Yzerman left, he left them with that championship core, and they won 2 cups, made the third, like 3 finals in a row, and then last year, obviously, Toronto beat them in the first round. So, and I mean, Sergachev's banged up. They still have Vasilevsky. So if you have him, you got a shot. But Florida's got Bobrovsky, who's been playing awesome this
Playing
season,
huge.
and they got, Sam Reinhart had 57 goals, scored yesterday. So it's like they're going. So I'll say Florida, and I think it's going to be like 6 games. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people just say 7, but I don't think Tampa's as good this year. I want to say if you check Kucherov tightly, you probably got a good shot because that's a guy that you could piss off. If you get all over him, and I think Florida has the guys that could do that. So I'll say Florida, Boston and Toronto.
Boston.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a slam dunk.
I
I
think
just
I
can't.
think
I can never take Toronto seriously ever. Like
no.
even yesterday, just Boston just smacked him in the mouth. Um, I, I don't see it for Toronto at all. To be honest, I didn't really see it that much for Boston at the beginning of the year too. Hey, buddy, we're getting it, the Capitals in a second. Good timing. This is what he does, by the way. He just comes and he just sits here. He's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And
Hey,
like rip down
what's
my
going on?
background. Um, so I'll say Boston. I'll say 6 because I'm sure Toronto will get a few where like Matthews and Marner wake up and have a
Yeah, I
game.
could see that as a 6-game series.
Yeah. So sorry, Toronto fans. I think you're in for it again. But that's my favorite time of year is when Toronto gets eliminated. So
It
I
is.
just think there's way too many good teams for them to even make a run. Let me just put it that way. You know what I mean? Like they get through, they got to play Florida or Tampa again. Good luck. Like
Yeah.
these 3 teams will kill you, I think. Um, okay, here's a really easy one. Uh, Rangers in 3 games over the
Yeah,
Capitals.
we already said that earlier.
The Capitals have. I know, Ovi. That's your team sucks. Yeah, I think so. Um, minus 40 goal differential, which is the worst of a playoff team since 1991. Less wins than the Red Wings. Made the playoffs and got smacked already. So they're down 1-0 already. I think you're probably going to pick the Rangers too. I would assume.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I said Rangers in 3 as a slight because I just think that they don't deserve it.
They
It's
don't
Yeah, that's weird. And when you don't have an empty net to shoot on, to make the playoffs, I'm just bitter.
just a
Can
little
you
bit, eh?
tell?
Just a
And
little.
then the last series, which will be an absolute frickin' snooze fest, I think, is the Hurricanes and Islanders. Just a defensive,
Yeah.
you know.
Canes. I'm going Canes on that.
Yeah, I think Hurricanes too. I think the Islanders are in the same boat as the
Just
Capitals.
Washington there and
And honestly, if Detroit was in the playoffs, I'd be picking against them too. You know what I mean? I would expect if they would have played the Rangers. I would have said Rangers in 5.
Rangers, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think they maybe would have taken one just because of the veterans that they have. But I don't think they would have made it through a round. But yeah, I mean the Hurricanes are a very good team. They're one of the teams that can play that defensive trap and make it very effective. Teams that try to emulate that are usually not going to be successful because you just don't have the players to do it. And Carolina does. They have the perfect defensive guys and then the perfect counterattack. So like I could see them going far just because of that, and they usually are in the mix. So that's that's kind of the playoff predictions for round 1. I mean, I guess we'll do
We'll hit
round 2,
round
3,
two
4.
once we got once we're closer
Yeah,
to it.
for sure. So so that's what we want to talk about today. We're in the playoffs, so good luck to the Canucks. I
Thank
mean, I
you.
will be
Thank you.
cheering for them. I will not be staying up to watch that shit, though. I don't know how you're gonna do that.
I'm gonna be dead, but
Yeah, there's no
I'll
way.
do it.
Well, yeah, let me know how they do. But okay, so it's the Buschy and Bobo Show, episode 46. We will talk to you probably at the end of the first round.
In a
We'll
couple of
see,
weeks, in a week,
something like that.
2
Yeah, it's like a
weeks.
week and a half, something like that. So until then, it's Buschy. He's Bobo. I'm ugly. He's handsome. It's the Healthy Scratch
Not gonna
Buschy and Bobo
disagree.
Show. We'll
Bye,
talk to you
brother.
guys. See you, brother.